Good evening and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake. Let us join together in consciousness as we begin this evening's service. There's a power in the universe that's infinite and intelligent, equally present everywhere, all-knowing and all-powerful. And whatever name I use to call it, nothing can describe it. The infinite is beyond the comprehension of the finite mind. And so as we begin this evening, we do an exploration, a deep dive into what is possible, expanding consciousness and choosing to create from a place of true awareness of this divine presence and the infinite power that we possess as a result of being one with it. So as we come together this evening, I know that today is a gift and a blessing, and that whatever we do together, whatever we speak about, whatever is heard and shared becomes a gift in so many different ways. And for that, I'm truly, truly grateful. So filled with love and peace, joy, light, wonder, and awe, I release these ideas into the law of mind action, knowing that it is done. All is well. And so it is.
Hello, everyone. I'm Enrico. Our land acknowledgement. We work, live, and play on the historical and traditional territory of many indigenous nations, including the Anishinaabe and Wendat peoples, and more recently, the Mississaugas of the Credit and Haudenosaunee nations. As we gather from many places on Turtle Island, as we are settlers, are grateful for the opportunity to meet here. And we thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years, including the Métis, Inuit, and all other indigenous people. Also acknowledging that as we continue to grow and expand on these lands, there is still unresolved and dangerous inequality and discrimination toward our BIPOC and 2S LGBTQ plus family. By making these acknowledgements, we strive to be allies and take an active part in reconciliation. We recognize our oneness, we realize our history, and we choose to create a new reality. We are one. Our vision is transforming humanity through the emergence of the sacred, authentic self. Our mission, we welcome you as you are, where you are, without judgment or criticism. We provide a sacred place of learning and growing as you seek to achieve your greatest dreams. And we accomplish this by offering science of mind classes, social events, inspiring workshops, thought-provoking services, and practitioner support. We honor the revelation of your emerging sacred, authentic self through our positive messaging and loving support. And now for our meditation with Nancy.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Okay, I'm really excited about this. I've been thinking about it all day. What do I want? What is my intention for this meditation? Where do I want to bring you? And I realized my goal is to bring you inside your body in a new way, to notice how your consciousness chooses all the time, how new thought isn't just a concept or an idea that we can read about, but we're actually living it in every moment. Every breath you take, every moment your body does what it does, you're actually choosing it. And I want to take us into a deep meditation tonight, full of gratitude and appreciation for this amazing machine that we live in, this incredible universe that works with systems that most of the time we are not paying attention to. We're just letting it happen. And tonight I want to take us in with our breath and really go inside and experience it in a brand new way. So I'd like to ask you to close your eyes. And take a big breath in, big inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth, letting your shoulders drop. Just allowing yourself to hear my voice. Allowing your body to breathe naturally in through your nose and out through your mouth. And I want you to start noticing how when you breathe in through your nose, you can feel the cool air in your nostrils. It hits the back of your throat. It moves down your esophagus and enters your lungs. There's such a process to every breath. And again, when we breathe in, notice this freshness, this acceptance that you're doing in every moment unconsciously, and in this moment, hopefully consciously. Allow this fresh air to come into your body, welcome it, give gratitude to it. And now notice how your lungs expand. And the journey of oxygen begins in your body. And again, with gratitude, thank your lungs inside your mind. Thank them how they allow breath of life to enter in every moment of your life. No matter if you're scared, no matter if you're sick, no matter if you're angry, no matter if you're peaceful. This beautiful agreement happens every moment of your life, from the moment of conception, from the moment that the embryo decided to separate into two cells. It just kept growing and creating this beautiful container that you're in. And every cell inside is fed by this oxygen. Every cell inside is generating, regenerating, pulsating. It's a magnet. Everything is in agreement. It's so much larger than we give it credit for. And as this oxygen moves through our blood, it's moving through our veins, capillaries, arteries. They're everywhere in your body. Take a moment and give gratitude for these beautiful, beautiful veins, arteries, capillaries that are allowing oxygen to reach every organ of your body in every moment, effortlessly, without question. It never stops. It keeps moving. And it does it as a gift of love to you. This incredible universe that you live in. Think for a moment of your bones. Think how they have marrow inside, how blood pulsates through this marrow, energizing your bones, keeping them safe and strong. And while this energy is moving through every cell of your body, it's loving you. It's absolutely loving you in every moment. So I want you to open up to that in every moment of your life, you're experiencing being loved. And with every exhale, I want you to release this love back into the universe. Send it to us. Think of everyone who's joined you tonight. Allow your exhale to mean something. It's not just pushing out toxins. It's not just letting air out of your body. All of the intentions inside your body are being released with every exhale. They're affecting every being on the planet. Every cell inside your body is a magnificent production. Allow yourself to take another inhale. Really be conscious again of how the air's moving through your nostrils, fresh and clean, a little bit cool. Notice it at the back of the throat. Just for a moment, allow yourself to just be still. And now I'd like to ask you to allow me to request something of you. In this beautiful state you're in, this opening that you've done to your body, I now want you to consciously choose to reject me. I want you to consciously choose to put a wall up. I want you to consciously choose to notice that the way I'm speaking is annoying, that the pace of the meditation is uncomfortable. And just do it to the best of your ability. And now I want you to take a big inhale in. I want you to put a smile on your face. And now I want you to choose to be open to me. I want you to choose to feel your heart. I want you to choose to let me in. Allow my voice to be engaging. Choose to experience this meditation full of joy, full of love, full of gratitude. And let that happen. Just keep expanding and allowing and breathing. And now I want you to notice that each way closing off to me and opening up to me is simply a choice. And I also want you to notice that your body will support you with no matter which choice you make. It'll create chemicals that will repel, or it will make chemicals that embrace. And all of it, every second of it, is you. And it's your choice. And you can take this knowledge into your treatments. When you're saying treatment, realize that your words are coming from you. They create your reality. It isn't just an idea that Holmes had. It isn't just a sentence in a book. You are the creator of this beautiful universe that you live in, inside this one, inside this container. And the blocks that you have, you've chosen simply to protect you. And the joy that you experience is you choosing to experience joy. Now allowing yourself to put your attention back on your breath, noticing your lungs, relaxing into your breath. I'm going to request tonight, while you're listening to the talk from Barbara, that at certain moments you stop and you realize it's a choice. Do I receive what the word is that I'm being told tonight? Am I bored? Am I stimulated? It's all my choice. Am I fascinated? Do I choose to be engaged in it? Do I choose to learn something new tonight? All you have to do is ask, and the universe manifests it. And your body, your container, will support your choice in every second. So I ask that you open up to your entire body right now. Allow your heart to grow. Allow your gratitude to spread. Spread it through your brain. Spread it through your jaw, your sinus, your inner ear. Spread it through your throat, your chest. Let it spread through your stomach, down your arms, down your spine. Let your hips expand. This joy is so tremendous. It's filled with love and gratitude for all that is, all you are. Let it expand down your legs. Let it fill your feet. Allow this gratitude, this love, this joy to keep expanding. Now let it spill out of every pore of your body. Let it pour out toward all of us. Expand it even more. You're capable of anything. You are a miracle. Let it flow out of your pores into the universe, into every soul on the planet. And now returning to your breath, allow yourself to become centered. Move your toes and allow yourself to feel that you're on the planet. And take a couple more breaths, and then as you feel comfortable, open your eyes, re-enter your room, rejoin the group. And thank you, everyone. Thank you for participating. Thank you for allowing me to send my love to you. And now it's time for Barbara's talk, and she's going to be talking on the subject of God is a concept. And I can't wait. Thank you all.
Thank you, Nancy. That was lovely. That was really, really good. I feel ready. You got me into the right mindset, I think. So anyway, welcome everyone. God is a concept. And I wanted to talk about that because the word God gets such a bad rap sometimes because we, well, maybe we were raised with it and thought about it in a way that makes us feel a bit uncomfortable. Maybe we had a bad experience. Genevieve was sharing with me today that there was a conversation going on at Verity, and a new member there was like, oh, I don't know, I kind of like this place, but can I really be welcomed here because I'm gay? And, in the past I've been kind of kicked out, and it was like, no, 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 of course you're welcome. We love you. You're welcome here. So I think there's a lot of injury that has happened over the years. And as such, there can be some reservation when we hear the word God. It can pull up some negative emotion. So I just wanted to address it because God is not a person or a thing. It doesn't pass judgment. It is simply the energy. And In Nancy's meditation, she clearly illustrated that, where we move into this energetic system. That's what God is. It is not a person or a place or a thing. It is all things. It is everything. It is being you. It is being me. It is the only thing that exists. In the book, what's it called? Oh, It's All God by Walter Starkey. He wrote, simple as it may sound, the spiritual revolution that is taking place today is taking place over a change in priority. Now, he's mainly talking about Americans who, have in their money, God, in God we trust. But if the results we wanted were not soon coming, then they would send in the CIA, the Army, the Air Force, the Marines, whoever, right, to drop a few bombs. And so who are we kidding? If in the past, our first priority has been to get results rather than to act out of the spirit of love, but the wheel is turning, and more we should look for politicians and people around us who will give top priority to the subjective values that founded, the Americans, right? It was founded on this spiritual principles. And, we're a little bit of an offshoot of that, although we don't have the religious background to the same degree as the US does. But when I'm thinking about God, when I'm thinking about the idea of what spirituality means to me, for me, it's about honesty, it's about integrity, it's about purpose and passion, it's about faith in the possibility that within me, I have whatever it takes to lead a powerful, positive, and productive life. That I have within me, as Nancy mentioned in the meditation, I have within me, you have within you this immense power, and you get to choose how to use it. There's the key, there's the kicker. You get to choose how to use it. It's infinite, it's everywhere present, it is all powerful, but you can choose to limit it or expand it. You can choose to see yourself as this powerful, creative, divine essence of all life, this energetic system of power and possibility, or you can see yourself as flawed and broken and less than and not enough. And, we sometimes go through this journey of, oh, well, what are people going to think of me? Will they like me? And I think we have to get past that and begin to see that each and every one of us is created unique and special. And as I've said before, we all have a little something, something that we bring to the planet right now that is necessary. It's needed. It's up to us to bring it. And so we bring it through our own individual ability to stand up and stand out and trust in what we know about ourselves, and to then share that in the world around us. And I think one of the places in the Bible, it talks about praying unceasingly. And for me, what that actually means in today's world is that we need to come to every moment with compassion, with love, with honesty, with generosity. And that if we can do that without ceasing, we will begin to see a shift in our world. We'll begin to see a shift in the way things get done or not as we progress. So when I think of God as a concept, not as a guy in the sky passing judgment, not something that has already decided what my life will be. It is the energy of the universe. And so when we think about quantum physics, for example, we'll think about everything being space with quarks and leptons and these tiny little bits and flecks in there. But everything is made of that. Everything's made of that. And so when we start to look at life from a more scientific perspective, we start to see that everything we've ever known, everything that we've ever imagined, all of it comes from this one source. Everything manifests from this one idea. So David Hawkins, in his book, Reality, Spirituality, and Modern Man, wrote, as can be seen through simple survey and observation, the sufferings of mankind or humankind now, as well as throughout history, have been due primarily to the inability to differentiate truth from falsehood, reality from illusion, perception from essence, and opinion from verifiable reality. Thus, the discoveries of consciousness research provided a new paradigm for which to reassess the entire human condition over great periods of time, because the scale provided a context and an expanded paradigm that simultaneously includes both the linear and the non-linear realms. This discovery represented a major leap in human knowledge, which also clarified that a verifiable definition of truth is only possible by the simultaneous statement of both content, the linear, and context, non-linear. All historic attempts at defining verifiable truth lacked a standard of comparison that was absolute, invariable, definable, and confirmably demonstrable. Thus, the emergence of a confirmable pragmatic means of identifying and corroborating truth presented an entirely new, enlarged dimension for the advancement of human understanding and comprehension. Well, isn't that just a mouthful? Maybe just for me. The study of human consciousness, of course, is a pretty big thing to be studying, but it's so important because when we come to understand that everything we think, say, and do comes from our own personal choices, our own decision making, it comes from this part in us that thinks it knows something. And of course, we know plenty, but we also don't know what we don't know. Yes, we don't know what we don't know, which makes perfect sense, right? But sometimes we forget that there is that element in there, that there are aspects of life that we don't fully comprehend. And yet, oftentimes, I know I catch myself doing this, where I will act as though I know what's going on. I know what I'm talking about. I know what's happening. But the truth is, there's so much that we don't know. So much we don't know about each other. So much we don't know about the nature of life. So much that we don't know or can probably ever know about this concept of God. So for me, it is an energy and it is love. And when I had my very first experience of this divine presence, it was this all-encompassing feeling of absolute love. Not that, it's so hard to describe because it was a little bit like going from darkness into light, like somebody flipped a switch and I could see the world differently. And it was that case of getting that sense of oneness, that sense of love, that sense of deepening and expansion, that sense of unity with something so immense, so powerful, so beautiful. And I was loved. I was loved. I had made zillions of mistakes up to that point. I could be called a sinner. And maybe people did, I don't know, doesn't really matter. What I knew in that moment was God is love. And so that changed the game for me, because what it did was it erased the idea of God being a judge of people, rather than coming to a new understanding that God is the vibration of life and it's love, it's beauty, it's grace, it's goodness. The idea of seeing it from a new vantage point changed the game for me. I was raised without religion, so I didn't have to recuperate or recover from any damage done by any particular denomination. But where I had my spiritual epiphany was in a traditional Christian church, and the message I was getting there was absolutely in conflict with what I was experiencing. Because I experienced God as an energy, and the energy was love. It was positive, it was uplifting, it was powerful. It was so remarkable. I wish there were words to describe it, frankly, but the truth is that what I heard from the pulpit, what I heard from the pastor speaking on Sundays, didn't match my experience. And so I had to leave. When I think of what we do here at CSL on the Lake, we are an inclusive, positive, productive spirituality. We're a practical spirituality. All people are welcome here. Everyone, as you heard in Rico's opening land acknowledgement, there is an acknowledgement that we are accepting of everybody And you know where it starts, right? Right here. Each one of us has to start with ourselves. We make a choice. You know, Nancy did a great job of showing us how we make choices. And the choices that we make impact the experiences that we have. And we get to choose. We can choose to hear the word God and go, oh, it's I'm not listening anymore. That's a bunch of bullshit and I don't want any part of it. Or we can go, okay, what's this concept that's being discussed here? And does it feel like something that I have, that I live, move, and have my being in? Is it a part of what I am? And what I love about the work of David Hawkins is that he's talking about science and religion. And he said, until very recently, both science and religion seem to be encased in very separate boxes. But now the boxes can be removed and put into a much larger container that contains both and gives them equal importance, credence, and balance. He goes on to write, significantly over time, the greatest scientific geniuses paradoxically have been very religious in their personal lives, and that their capacity for depth of comprehension was profound and inclusive. Well, because of their innate genius, they intuited there was no conflict between religion and science. None of them actually explained the resolution of this presumably disparity, but as there's inexplicable knowingness. It's like they just knew. And it's like when we read in The Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes, in the opening chapter of the thing itself, he writes, we all look forward to the day when science and religion shall walk hand in hand through the visible to the invisible. Science knows nothing of opinion, but recognizes a government of law whose principles are universal. Yet any scientist who refuses to accept intangible values has no adequate basis for the values which he has already discovered. Revelation must keep faith with reason and religion with law, while intuition is ever spreading its wings for greater flights, and science must justify faith in the invisible. When we think about science, like I remember in high school, okay, it's going back a ways, studying chemistry. Man, I hated it. It's like one day we would learn something, and then a week later it would be disproved. Something else had come along scientifically years later that disproved that idea, and something else was put in its place. And so we look at science like, oh, it's the end all be all of everything. No, it is an evolving understanding. It is something that there was people on Earth, well, there's still a few now, who believed that the Earth was flat. Well, now we have an understanding that in fact it is round. There has been all sorts of scientific evidence that has been disproved over time. And so when we look at spirituality, when we look at the ideas of science and religion, what we come to understand is what science, I read an article in Newsweek years ago called Science Finds God. And the people who were interviewed were all incredible scientists who also had a very deep faith. And they said the only thing that helps them to understand the science that they're working with is that there has to be an intelligence back of the universe. Otherwise, none of it would make sense, because they can't make sense of what it is that they've been able to accomplish or do or create. In quantum physics, they talk about, you know, an experiment, and the scientist observing the experiment will change it because of their consciousness. So if that is the case, what happens when we make a choice? What happens when we choose this or that? Every choice leads us somewhere. Every experience that we have is moving us in a certain direction. And as we look at the faith that we have, and we begin to see how that faith impacts our lives, we begin to move forward with a more deliberate sense of action, a different possibility of what we could create, what we could be doing. We have lived lives as though we are powerless. Not all of us, of course, but some of us. And I'm here to tell you, you're powerful. You're powerful. And I know that because you have within you, you are one with this infinite source. You are one with God, spirit, universe, cosmos, whatever name you want to give it, you are one with that. And because you are one with it, and it's all powerful, then you must be powerful simply by default. And because it's everywhere present, it must be where you are. And because it's all knowing, you have the ability to know anything. Anything. There is within us this infinite resource. And we can choose to limit it by a word that we don't feel comfortable with, or we can get past the word and find a new word to describe it. I know people I studied with who started using universe, or Rev ME uses cosmos, or there's lots of different words we can use. But I invite you to make a choice that when you hear that word, know that what it actually means, it comes from the German gut, and it means good. That's all it means, good. And we've used it to describe or to name something that is unknowable, unnameable, unlimited, something that we can't even begin to comprehend. It's so much beyond our capabilities because we live, move, and have our being in it, not separate from, but in. And so it changes everything, because how we show up matters, because every choice we make is moving that energy in one way or another, or stalling it. Are we closing off or opening up? Are we living in faith and gratitude and joy and celebration, or are we holding back? What does life mean to us? Can we look at it through a new lens and begin to see how glorious it is, how beautiful it is? I was reading in the book 365 Science Mind today. And today's reading started with a quote from Acts 17:28. In him we live, move, and have our being. Well, I would change him to it. In it we live, move, pardon me, and have our being. And Ernest Holmes wrote for today, life is activity. And when we stop being active, we turn away from the newness of life. And the person who grows old in years without an inward expectation and assurance that we're going to live forever somewhere will find the last part of their life burdened with the thoughts of yesterday. Let us make up our minds that yesterday is gone. Tomorrow's not yet arrived. But today can be filled with wonder if we know that we stand on the threshold of that which is wonderful and new. He goes on to say, I've never yet met a single individual who maintained this attitude in the last part of their life unless they had faith. And I'm talking about the kind of faith we all understand the meaning of, faith in something bigger than ourselves, in a power greater than ourselves, and a complete assurance that we're going to live forever somewhere. In the Science of Mind, this is very much a healing teaching. I've watched it heal people of AIDS, of heart disease. I have watched it, I healed my own back as a result. The energy that we create, the willingness that we work with this energy, when we begin to acknowledge that there is a power greater than I am in the universe, and it's right here being me, and I get to use it. Well, in fact, I'm using it all the time. But am I using it in a way that's powerful, positive, and productive? Or am I using it in a way that limits and destroys? How am I putting that energy out into the world? And am I being all that I was created to be? We stand on the precipice of something wonderful right now. We are in a place where we can begin to create a world that is absolutely spectacular. And we do that by consciously getting involved in the decisions that we're making, those choices that Nancy talked about. Those choices matter. Every choice we make, every word we speak, every word we think has power. not some, but all, every last one. What are the words we're using? What are the ways that we think? In a book I was reading this week, Life Visioning by the Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith, the foreword was written by Bruce Lipton. And Bruce talked about this energy that we're working with, but he talked about how everything in our subjective mind was created in those first 6 years. And then we as adults are using maybe 5% of our consciousness. So we have all this power, we're just not using it consciously. So that 5% is directing this infinite something that's below the surface that we may or may not be aware of. And what's below the surface, of course, was put in there between the ages of 0 and 6. I don't know about you, but I have no idea what all happened in those years. I don't remember all of it. And yet at some level within me, there is that memory, there is that knowing. There is something inside of me that does remember. And so he suggests in the book that really what's happening here is we're not even living our own lives. We're living the lives of the people who implanted those messages, beliefs, attitudes, and thoughts. That's what's coming out in our life experience. But we get to choose to do something different. We can choose to begin to understand the science of mind. We can begin to understand consciousness. We can begin to take classes or read books or come to understand that within us there is a power that is infinite, that says yes to our every request. Yeah, every one. So when we go, oh, I don't know if this probably won't happen for me. I don't think I'll get this job. The universe says, yes, as you wish. When we sit back and go, I feel like a champion. I feel like $1 million. I'm having the best day ever. The universe says, yes. What is it? What is it that you believe about your life or your capabilities? What is it that you believe about your family and friends? What is it you believe about the spirituality that you're learning? What is it that you believe about life in general? And what is it that you choose to create moving forward? Are you ready? Are you ready to take on a whole new mantle that goes, yes, I'm a champion. I'm a champion. I'm created with this infinite power within me that I get to use. I get to use it. Well, I am using it consciously or unconsciously. It's still being used. It's just a choice. So when I think of God as a concept, I think of a power that is infinite, eternal, everywhere present, which means it's right here where I am, it's right there where you are, that each one of us is created unique and special, and we all have a little something we bring to the earth plane at this point in time that is absolutely essential, okay? There are no mistakes here. You are essential to the unfolding of the universe in the highest and best possible way now, today. You are here, and you are here for that purpose. Yesterday, we lost a beautiful, wonderful minister who made her transition, and some of you will remember the videos you watched of hers. It made me emotional. The Reverend Dr. Barbara Waterhouse made her transition yesterday at 9 o'clock in the evening and has, journeyed off this mortal plane and onto a new reality for her. And she will definitely be missed. There is no question. Every one of us is here to bring to life something. And she had a way of describing the mental equivalent that was so powerful and so perfect. The Jello mold, right? Remember the Jello mold? And what's interesting is although she is no longer with us, she is in fact busy with something. I guarantee it. There's something more to life than what we can see, touch, and feel. There's something more to our experience than what's present in this now moment that we can put our hands on. There's things that we do not comprehend, as David Hawkins talked about. There is ideas that we need to explore, to expand, and to deepen our understanding of. In order to do that, we need to make choices. And the choices that we get to make is, can I choose to be open, receptive? Can I choose to be teachable? Can I choose to be curious, imaginative? Can I choose to trust my intuition? Can I choose to show up today and every day with curiosity, with a great sense of possibility as I choose to love, to be compassionate, to be kind, not with some people, but with everyone, those we understand and those we don't, the ones that sort of we're not really getting, getting who they are or why they are, but to come to a place of, well, let me understand, let me explore, let me discover. God is a concept, not a man in the sky. God is a concept, and the concept is one of love and liberty and possibility. It is a concept of infinite potential. And I invite you to find a word that works for you. And when you hear a word that interrupts you in a way that causes you to withdraw, change the word. Change the word. For me, it's he and him, reading the Bible or reading whatever book, and it's he did this, he did that, mankind this, mankind that. I just change it to it. I love Ernest Holmes in the first book in The Science of Mind. It's called The Thing Itself. I love that. Let's call it the thing itself. There's a power in the universe that is great, that is immense, and it is within each and every one of us, fully available to us to use consciously or not. It's simply a choice. I invite you to make a great choice today. Thank you. Well, we have a couple of announcements. Let me see if I can share the PowerPoint here. All right. Oops. So we start with the spiritual economics class, which starts this week, Thursday. And this is an eight-week class. And the whole idea is that presence within us that is infinite, creative, and intelligent, and how to use it in the most positive, productive way to create financial freedom, loving relationships, great communication, to create health and vitality, all good stuff. This is a great book. It was written by Eric Butterworth many years ago. It is a powerful, powerful course. So I invite you to sign up for that. We start on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Now we're going to make some changes to our Monday night experience. And hopefully at some point in time, we'll be back in person. But in the meantime, we're going to start doing things a little bit differently, where we will introduce a topic. Then you will go into breakout rooms, get to know some of the other people who are attending the services. You'll discuss the topic, what you think about it. Does it work for you? What are you learning? Whatever. And then we're going to come back and we're going to discuss that topic, answer any questions, that sort of thing. There'll also be meditation involved. So you have the experience of Nancy's beautiful meditation tonight. We will include meditation as well. And of course, opening and closing spiritual mind treatments. And we'll probably throw in a little bit of music as well, just to warm the space. So I invite you to watch for it. There'll be more information coming out. If you have any questions, please do send me an email, revb@cslonthelake.com. And also, if there's topics that you would like discussed, is there something going on in the world today that you're not quite sure how to evaluate it from a spiritual perspective? Send me a note, revb@cslonthelake.com, and we can talk about it further, and I can add that into the list of things that we're going to talk about, because it's going to be very practical in today's world. So that's what we're looking for. Another class that's coming up, this is coming up the beginning of May, Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. This is really a full-on metamorphosis of health, wealth, relationship, career. It's a powerful, powerful class. It runs on Saturdays. We won't have a class on the May long weekend, so don't worry about that. But Saturdays at 10 a.m. And it's going to be a great class. You don't need to purchase any books for it. The main book that we'll be using is The Science of Mind, which I think probably most of you already have. And the Joy Show. Every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, I interview remarkable, remarkable people. This week, it's Reverend Sherry Johnson, who is a powerhouse in New Thought Media. She's got a whole vision of how to create a more loving, compassionate world. So it's going to be an excellent, excellent conversation Friday. So don't miss that. And on Wednesday, Spirit Cafe is happening. And this week, our guest is Ian McKnight, and he is a force. He has been working for years in the HIV/AIDS community. He's also done his ministerial training. He's on track for that. He's almost finished. So the conversation is going to be really, really powerful. That's noon on Wednesday. So I invite you for that. Of course, my podcast is out and it is on Spotify. It's on Google. It's on Apple. It's probably pretty much anywhere that podcasts can be found. So check that out. And here we are. Want to thank you for your generous financial support. It's helped us to continue on day by day doing the things that we do. And hopefully it will allow us to grow and move into an in-person possibility at some point in time would be wonderful. So as you give generously, I just want to say we really appreciate everything that you give and everything you do, whether you're giving of your time, your talent, or your treasure, or all of the above. You matter, and we are deeply, deeply grateful. And you can donate to admin@cslonthelake.com with an e-transfer. You can go to our website and hit the give link. And you can always mail in a check to the office as well. Thank you. Thank you for joining tonight. Let us close with a closing treatment. So I quiet my mind and open my heart and choose in this moment to be teachable, to be open, to be receptive. And I allow this infinite presence and power to be fully realized as I walk and talk, as I live this experience of humanity and spirituality combined as one. I begin to see the potential that is within both, of acknowledging that I am human and I am spiritual, and allowing that to be the guiding light and force for all that I think, say, and do moving forward. And so I know that life is beautiful, that the world is filled with remarkable individuals, and I'm so grateful for each and every one. And so tonight, as we close off this service and open up to a conversation, if you choose to stick around, what I know is that all is well, that today is a new day, a new opportunity. And in this new opportunity, I get to think in a new way if I choose. So grateful for choice, grateful for love and laughter, grateful for peace, grateful for this day and each one gathered here. I release these ideas into the law of mind, knowing it is done. All is well. And together we say, and so it is.